So this is The Athletic. Jon Machota is putting this together, and we have a plethora of questions for the Cowboys' upcoming season. All right, here we go. How many games will the Cowboys win this season? Less than 8, 8 or 9, 10 or 11, 12 or 13, or more than 13?
No. I've been deciding between. Sorry about that. I've been deciding between 8 and 10, but that's not an answer.
No,
right?
You have 8 or 9, or 10 or 11. Do you go 8 or 9 because that has 2 of the numbers you considered?
Man, I guess I'll go 8 or 9, but I think they're going to win. I wish 9 or 10 was an answer because that's what I'd give. I think they're going to play over 500. So I think they're going to win 9 or 10. That's not an answer given. I will lean towards 8 or 9 just because that's the way the Cowboys do it. Every time they have a pretty good year, which last year was a good year overall, then they poop in their pants.
Okay. So we're going to take Mike's answers, but also what the majority of the fan text can overrun any of these answers. So we will be prepared to change.
On Twitch, the runner 1621 says 10.
Okay.
So there's a vote for 10.
And so far, 10 or 11, 11, 10 or 11. I'm sorry if everyone voted more than 13, I might jump in on that, but I probably am not going to put that for now. How far will the Cowboys go this season? Miss the playoffs, lose in the first round of the playoffs, lose in the divisional round, lose in the NFC Championship, lose in the Super Bowl, or win the Super Bowl?
Get hammered in the first round, baby. That's right.
Unfortunately,
get to the end of the third quarter and know the season's over, but we made the playoffs. Celebrate good time.
Come on. Unfortunately, I think that is also the most likely outcome. Now, I want to, and keep sending your votes in because we can change these along the way. Right now, we've got lose in the first round. You got overruled on the first question, Mike. The leader in the pack,
10 or 11.
10 or 11. So
that's
which is still reasonable.
I think that should be the leader of the pack. I just went a little bit more pessimistic, but then I'm super optimistic. We're going to make the playoffs and then get hammered.
Well, okay. This might be the most
Congratulations, Jerry. You did it again.
This might be the most interesting question on the list. I'm not kidding about that. How do you feel about the current state of the franchise? I'm excited about the future. I feel the same as I have for the last 25 years, or this is the most frustrated I've been. I think that one is going to win out.
Yeah, because 25 years is too big, if that makes sense. Because 2016, as that season was going on, I was like, oh my God, we're going to be good
for the next 5 years. I was convinced
and I thought
that.
we were going to the Super Bowl in 2017 against the Raiders. I was kind of wrong about that one.
It happens.
I guess I would lean towards most frustrated because I just am not looking forward to this Cowboy season. I'm looking forward to the NFL season and all the storylines. I just feel like the Cowboys have no chance to do anything special, but they are good enough to make the playoffs. That's how I feel about the Cowboys. But because we've been there the last 20 years, as that's about how you feel every other year about the Cowboys, then it stinks. Like I want it to be better. I want to have I want to have Trevor Lawrence as my quarterback going, hey, I know it's not good yet, but we do have maybe the best young quarterback in the NFL. But because we have a pretty good quarterback. We have a decent team.
We do.
It's kind of like, all right, here we go again. So frustrated.
What grade would you give Mike McCarthy entering his third season? By the way, we'll recap all these choices at the very end. What grade do you give Mike McCarthy entering his third season?
A B- for Buffet.
Okay. I was going to give him a C, because I think he gets a D for his first year. And then this last year, it was very good in the regular season, then obviously less than stellar.
I can't believe I'm going to defend Mike McCarthy here, but I'm going to defend Mike McCarthy.
Oh, my God. You love the Cowboys. I knew it.
Didn't he go 500 with Andy Dalton as his quarterback?
I think they might have been one game below, but I understand your point.
And then last year he went 12-5.
He did. And then they lost the game that mattered.
I'm not saying I love Mike McCarthy because then all the other counterpoints start kicking me in the private areas.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm not a big fan of Mike McCarthy. But I think that he's done a pretty good job.
Okay.
I get that he hired Mike Nolan. F-. Honestly, Z-. Okay. Since I don't know why we stop at F on that hire. Z.
And also, why do we not get an E in there?
I think the offensive line coach, pathetic.
Yeah.
And I think that later in the show, that's a major issue why this offensive line will be average to below average this year.
Okay.
And that's Mike McCarthy's guy. So there are things that I do not like about Mike McCarthy. But overall, his quarterback got hurt. And then last year he went 12-5 with his team. So I'm like,
I'm surprised.
B-.
I'm surprised, Mike. This might have been the most divisive question thus far.
Yeah.
The most frustrated wins the day, but you're right. B is the grade for Mike McCarthy. Who will win the NFC East? You know the 4 teams: the Giants, the Commanders, the Eagles, and the Cowboys.
Yeah, I guess the Eagles.
Woo! Okay. Eagles it is. Please keep voting.
Who do you think? Cowboys?
I'm going Cowboys. I might be a chump on that. I say they break the tradition.
I think the Eagles are a 10 or 11 win team, and I think the Cowboys are a 9 or 10
win. Okay.
So I think it's going to be very close.
Jay Campbell on Twitch says Commanders win the division.
Okay, now that I would be surprised. We're at a point where if it's not the Eagles or the Cowboys, I would be surprised. But then again, Carson Wentz always seems to defy expectations when I was like, we'll see. He's about to win the MVP.
But the Giants have no chance, right?
Yeah, no. Okay. I know this.
Commanders are trying to win in court first.
Yes. Man, that is a great point. Is people are split 50-50 at this point. There is another rogue vote for the Commanders, but Eagles, Cowboys with an expletive, Cowboys, Eagles, Cowboys, Eagles, Cowboys. It is split right down the middle at this point. Keep getting in those votes. We'll have to swing back to that one. No, the Cowboys haven't been in an NFC Championship game in 26 years.
Ain't happening now.
Will that streak end in the next 3 years?
No,
I don't think so either.
Not even close.
Who's the? Oh man, that makes me sad.
I don't think we'll get to the division game.
Yeah.
I was like, wild card division.
You don't think in the next 3 years we'll be in a divisional game?
Nope.
Yikes. That sucks. From the 817, the Eagles are going to win the division, and I hate the Eagles. Man, I could tell this one is good. That one's going to go down to the wire. Who's the Cowboys' most valuable player? Stack, right? Like I love Zach Martin and Tyron Smith, but
I was going to vote for Micah Parsons.
Oh, okay. Your choices: Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons, Zach Martin, Trevon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, DeMarcus Lawrence, or whoever the hell else you want to vote for.
I mean, I think Dak's a borderline top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Now, I get, if we're just going to say quarterback, then I think almost every team is going to
I want to hear this.
But I would say that Micah Parsons has a chance to be the defensive player of the year next year.
Okay.
So because of that, because he is a top 5 defensive player in the NFL, I think going into this season, not MVP, but defensive player of the year.
Yes.
Odds have him as a top 5.
Yes, they do.
Dak's not a top 10 quarterback. Okay. He's right on that borderline. I shouldn't say not, but he's somewhere between like 8 and 14.
Yeah.
Wherever you want to rank him. Once you rank him in the top 5, I can't listen to you talk anymore.
Oh my God.
So I would say Micah Parsons.
Okay. All right. Which rookie will make the biggest impact? I see the appeal of Jalen Tolbert given the injuries and everything like that, but I am going to go with Tyler Smith here.
I think so too. Let me throw this question back at you because this matters a lot to the answer. Who's starting in week 1 as a rookie on the Cowboys?
I think there's a good chance that Tolbert is starting and Tyler Smith is starting. And then I think
Tyler Smith's starting at what position?
Left guard.
Okay. I think so too.
I believe.
I'm with you on that. I just wanted to make sure because is he the only rookie that's going to start? Do you believe that Tolbert will be our number 2 receiver to start the year?
I kind of think there's a shot Tolbert is starting at the beginning of the year. But the thing is, I don't know if that sticks. It's fascinating because where do they go from there? Jalen Tolbert might lose his job because of return from injury. I think Tyler Smith might get a more viable or visible spot because of injury if he has to slide out to left tackle. So I'm going to go with Tyler Smith right there. And you know what? You are not in the minority whatsoever when it comes to Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is getting a lot of votes for most valuable Dallas Cowboys. So, all right, we're going back up, and I'm switching that vote to Micah Parsons.
Okay.
Which player's departure will be toughest to replace? Amari, Randy Gregory, Lyle Collins, Cedric Wilson. If you have another answer.
Dang. I will lean right now towards Amari Cooper, but I'm also wondering, even though I'm not a fan of his, and I think not ping for your teammates is horrible.
Yes.
Lyle Collins. So I'm deciding between Amari and Lyle. I'll lean towards Amari.
Okay, I think I'm going to go with Amari as well because we're already talking about like the impact
because we
that
know
the Gallup injury. Yeah. And so I think I'm going to go Amari as well. Which position group concerns you the most? Offensive line, defensive line, wide receiver, or something else?
What's your answer? Let me think about
Defensive line. And I feel like we've been there for a while because I am concerned about the middle of the defensive line. And I also want to see if the edge is going to work out how they seem to think.
Just to give you a little bit of a different answer, even though I think I lean towards defensive line, is offensive line.
Okay.
I think that Dak is not a player that can deal with average offensive line play.
Yeah.
He becomes instead of being maybe the 8th best quarterback in the NFL, he becomes the 14th to 18th best quarterback in the NFL if everything isn't going right in front of him. So because of that, I worry that if the offensive line is just average, there's going to be people that take shots out of them as they're the worst offensive line ever because Dak is struggling with average offensive line play.
You're on a roll, my friend, because the people have spoken. Outside of some additional rogue votes for quarterback, which I certainly understand, offensive line takes the day in this instance. If you were the Cowboys GM and could sign Dalton Schultz to this is interesting, a 4-year deal that would pay him $11 million per season, which I know is lower than market rate.
Dalton Schultz?
Yes. Would you do it?
No.
Okay.
I let him go if it's anything above $8 million.
Okay.
I can draft Dalton Schultz. If you can't draft Dalton Schultz, go somewhere else. Draft for some other crap organization. Dalton Schultz is a nice average tight end in the NFL, and I get his numbers are better than average.
I'm still going to argue he's better than average, but I hear you.
There are 5 to 8 Dalton Schultz in every draft. You just have to draft them and develop them. And you've done it before with Dalton Schultz. Do it again.
Wow. No, hell no, exclamation point. No, with like 5 exclamation points. All right. Well, the people have spoken. This might be the most unanimous vote that we have gotten is no on Dalton Schultz. Now, here we go. I think I know what your answer is on this.
All right.
Who will finish, as we go through the Athletic Cowboys survey, who will finish with more combined rushing and receiving yards, Zeke or Pollard?
Yeah, Zeke. He sells more jerseys.
I think you're right. I keep hoping you're wrong. Despite evidence.
Go to Academy Sports and Outdoors or Dick's Sporting Goods or the Dallas Cowboys team shop. You're going to find 21. You ain't finding 20 being sold.
Yeah.
That rules the day for the Cowboys. Brand is the name of the game.
We have a lot. We still have more questions. We might have to skip through some of these. Micah Parsons, 13 sacks last year. How many will he have this year?
15.
Woo! Your options, less than 7, 7 to 10, 11 to 14, and 15 to 18. You want to stick with 15 or do you want to downgrade to 11 to 14?
Optimistic Mike.
Oh, my God. It's always a good day when you get Optimistic Mike. Trevon Diggs led the NFL with 11 interceptions last season. How many will he have this season?
6.
Okay, your choices. Less than 5, 5 to 7, 8 to 10, 11 to 13, and then more than 13, which would just make my brain explode. And then I would be like, turnover regression is nothing. We'll be
5
great
to
forever.
7 or 8 to what?
8 to 10.
Dang. That seems to be a little bit too optimistic.
It does.
But you know what? Optimistic
Oh,
Mike.
my. But this isn't sarcastic optimistic Mike, is it?
No,
that's a thing, too.
Here's the other thing, too. And I would have to go back and look because this isn't fair. Because I remember that unbelievable interception I believe he had on Justin Herbert
Yes.
in the third play of the game, which was just an unbelievable play. Huge.
That won the game for them. I believe
changed
that.
everything in that game. I think the Cowboys are going to be playing teams that aren't playing from behind as much this year.
Okay.
And I don't recall, because I'd have to go back and look, how many of those interceptions come maybe in the fourth quarter when the Cowboys were up.
That's
and
a
the team
good
is
question.
Throwing the ball a little bit more in desperate situations.
You're on with the people from Micah, but the people are shockingly optimistic about Trevon Diggs in interceptions. There are a lot of votes for 8 to 10. So here's how it goes.
I like 6 to 7. I'll still stick with, I like the 5 to 7 range.
Here's the consensus on our survey. From you, from me, from the Tolos and the Twolos. How many games will the Cowboys win this season? 10 or 11. How far will the Cowboys go this season? Lose in the first round of the playoffs. How do you feel about the current state of the franchise? Most frustrated I've been. What grade would you give Mike McCarthy going into his third season? B. Who will win the NFC East? The Eagles. The Cowboys haven't been to the NFC Championship game in 26 years. Will that streak end in the next 3 years? No. Who is the Cowboys' most valuable player? Micah. Who will be the biggest impact rookie? Tyler Smith. Who is the biggest departure? Amari Cooper. Which position group are you most concerned about? Offensive line. Would you like to pay Dalton Schultz? No. Who will finish with more combined yards? Zeke. How many sacks will Micah Parsons have? 15 to 18? And how many interceptions will Trevon Diggs have? 8 to 10.
Okay, I feel pretty good. As much as sometimes you're not a Cowboys fan, Mike, I feel like I kind of was right along with most of those picks.
Yes.
Or really close to it.
And it feels like people are kind of in the same ballpark.